Okay, we're going to jump straight into it. So, welcome to episode 10 of the Limited Night podcast. Today with me, Tim, I have Adam, Marta.
Hello.
Hello.
And a new face, James.
Hello.
And by face, I mean voice.
Yes, not my face. No one shall ever see my face.
And you'll be hearing more from James in the coming months because he'll be in more and more video recordings.
Yes, because I'm very popular.
Popular?
That's how it works, right?
No.
Sure.
I'm afraid not.
I'm just the one who just says yes all the time. That's
We've recorded one game so far. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. How do you think that went, James?
Yeah, I think it went well. There's some content there. Hopefully. Well, we'll find out, because if the video's not out, then you'll know.
It's definitely a good video. I think that's...
Yeah, it's a good game.
It's one of those games where it's a long and steady build. Adam, you've got that one to edit, don't you?
Yep.
Have you looked at it yet?
I have synced the audio and video.
Ooh, I'm excited.
I haven't really looked at anything else, but there's that.
All I remember from that video is I suspect a lot of it is me going, guys, over the top of like everybody else.
Yeah. And Marta, you've had some pretty big news this week.
Which ones?
Which ones? Look at this.
Brag about it.
Yeah.
Look.
I've picked from my list of successes this week.
Well, there is a lot of them.
I was talking about your degree.
Oh yeah, I've completed my bachelor's. I'm starting my master's integrated next semester, and I got over 70% in every single module this year, which is fantastic.
Done. You're not getting a pay rise.
It's amazing.
I get paid for this?
No. I'm just saying that's not going up.
Like,
I did once.
No, God, no. Lucky. Once?
Yeah, you did get paid once.
Yep, I got paid once.
Adam, you got paid once too. You can't complain.
That's from something else. That doesn't count.
I haven't been paid once. Can I be paid once?
No, this is not going to be a trend. No one gets paid.
Oh.
Here on the Limited Night podcast, we discuss finances.
This is technically
For
a
the
lunch
audience.
break.
This is where we have to shill ourselves and go, guys, we can only be paid if you all subscribe to the channel and watch our content endlessly. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
James,
Please go contribute to our non-existent Patreon.
You hit the nail on the head there, James. If you're listening to this podcast and you want to hear more stuff and see more stuff, subscribe, because when we get to 200 subscribers, there'll be a video a day for the whole week. A video a day. That's incredible, right?
Crunch week.
That is incredible.
It's not crunch week because I've done all the work beforehand.
Yeah, they're already ready, but...
I mean, technically it's crunch. I crunched slowly.
It's crunch week.
Do you call...
So, yeah, but do we have to title and tag and thumbnail all of those videos?
Can you crunch... Oh, yeah, shit, we've got to do that. I've done most of the thumbnails. But the tagging... YouTube, although it is one of the easiest platforms to work on, there's a lot of work that goes into the back of it, and potentially a lot more work than we actually do to make it any good.
But yeah, I mean... Tagging, that's one thing. Tim just decided he couldn't do it, so he's making me do it now.
Yep. Hey,
and then come up with a snappy name.
I mean, no one
there's
to tag.
There's that whole thing about in the gaming section where you put down what game you're playing so that YouTube can recommend it for specifically that game. And looking back to every single video we've ever done, going back to the beginning, I checked and realized Tim didn't do a single one. So I spent
didn't know that was a
2
thing.
hours
I didn't know
going
that was a
back.
Thing. All right, fair play.
Modifying it.
Mistakes were made.
You never click the advanced settings. You just hit upload.
Do you know
I'm not
what
advanced.
The problem with that is though, and I don't know, it blocks out some of the text on the description of the video. Like, because it inserts a lovely picture of the game there, which is great. But it's like, please YouTube. Please.
Yeah, but realistically, no one reads the description, so...
That's true.
Oh, that's true. So I spend hours writing witty descriptions.
Adam, you can't say that's true. You were the one that argued that you do read the description. I asked you.
What? When did I ever say that?
When I said, how much effort are we going to put in the description? And you said, yeah, I read the description. I look at the picture and make a decision on the description mainly.
I'm talking about the title of the video, not the description of the video.
Okay, fair enough. I want to do, because we've just talked about kind of subscribing and stuff, I want to do a shout out, which is not something we do very often, but I'm going to shout out to...
Is this shout out to us?
No. No, it's a shout out to Caden.
Ah, Caden. Yeah, Caden, number one fan.
Number one fan, Caden, for sure. Caden, thank you. Really appreciate it. That's all. That's all.
He's like the one person listening to this right now.
He's the one person that he just gave up episode 9, and he'll never hear this.
He's our number one fan, but even he doesn't watch the podcast.
Did anyone notice, like, because obviously no one knows I exist yet?
Oh yeah.
Apart from me, I went into the forum and asked him what his favourite video was, purely from a market research perspective. No, I didn't really. I was just genuinely interested. But I was like, he doesn't know I work here yet, so I'm just going to pretend that I don't work here, because I don't want to reveal that.
Just another fan.
Yeah, I'm just a
I am
fan.
also a fan here, Caden.
I'm going to just hire every fan, and then we'll just be a big team of fans. But you all have to pay to work there.
It might get pretty noisy then. And
do we know,
what do we do if it's cold?
Do we know how many fans we've got in the UK compared to the US and that?
I don't know about
where does Caden live?
You can
Caden's
check
American.
analytics, can't you?
Caden's in America? Oh, okay, so we got one in the US and none in the UK.
Yeah, there we go.
So, there we go.
Shit.
Damn, and I was going to suggest we could do a meet at RTX in London.
Yeah, well, there will be. There'll be a
this-
staff.
Well, that's going to be really easy to organize then.
There'll be a
we
staff
have to
meetup.
meet. It will just be half of the staff, and we'll see each other for 5 minutes, and then leave.
It'll be the staff of one sweaty tramp.
Oh, so this is what you look like in real life.
Keep vamping. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to tell you what the split is so you guys can know.
Okay.
Good vamping, guys.
Yeah, well, sorry,
You can't put me on the spot like that.
We can
Boy,
put
what
Tim on the
about
spot.
What is this, some kind of
politics,
podcast?
guys?
Alright, so
No,
Etc.
okay, well,
20 hours in the US versus 20 hours in the UK. 50-50 split.
Oh, awesome.
Not bad.
Well, I account for 3. No, I don't really.
You might do. You might account.
I have been watching a lot of our stuff since I joined the company, which is worrying, really, because I didn't watch it before.
Stuff.
Hey, I'm part of the team now. I
I'm
can say
joking.
that.
You're part of the team. I'm joking.
Don't do that to me, Tim.
I'm
It's
gonna
one of
create
my
complex.
mental things. I keep
Hey,
everyone
Tim.
I talk to about this channel, I'm like, yeah, they do great content. Like, yeah, you're part of the channel, and I'm like, but I don't want to say
Yeah, I was just waiting for the day that you did say
Even-
and then I was gonna just flip it over.
even he doesn't even want to admit he
Today
works
is
here.
that day.
Man, it's a tough life.
Hey Tim, when's Respawn Season 2 coming out?
Shh.
Oh.
Oh,
It's not. Shh. It's not
What?
even Respawn Season 2. You're waiting for Aquila.
Yeah, but then I'm assuming after that Respawn Season 2 is coming out.
Yeah. 2,000
Alright,
subscribers.
so-
We'll make it a goal.
Every single bit of content we do is a goal, and if we don't hit it, we just never release anything.
I really like it. I like the approach of being like, if you want to see the next thing, then subscribe. I think that's like a natural way of growing and not being too bothery about kind of shouting about subscribing, because I don't like watching a video where someone just goes and like and subscribe with no reason, whereas this way we can kind of say, if you want to subscribe, this is what we got coming in the future.
Oh,
And I think
God,
that's just
It's literally just described my personal channel. I'm really sad now.
what yeah,
I'm gonna
sorry.
now go back and cut the end out of every video I've ever
He's
produced.
gonna go back and open up Premiere, and he's just gonna be cutting 800 videos just crying and eating ice cream because of what you said to him.
Well, no,
Got the Haagen-Dazs.
this is what Limited Night is about. Fundamentally, you can't do all of this work as one person unless it's your full-time job. Whereas when you have, 8 people working as a group, you can start to broaden out the things that we do to maybe the less interesting things, but you don't have to do it all yourself. Some people can sit there and be like, I'm going to do tagging, or I'm going to go and speak to a load of people about us, or I'm going to do the social media. All of that split.
I mean, yeah, I imagine it's pretty hard to do a 4-person multicam video if there's only one person on the channel.
Well, this is the only reason anyone's hired in the first place, is I can't do
Confirm that's
4-person.
difficult.
Do you know what? That would be a great video. Should we try and do that?
Just
What?
4 Tims.
Should we just have... So we'll just have 4 people play, and then afterwards one person will just go and re-record the video elements for the other 3, so you just have a 4-person with that one person.
Wow. I mean, I don't know how you'd actually sync it because there's no sync points if it's.
Well, no,
Four
you just do a
different-
normal multicam, and then you just roll over a person and then
you
listen
just
to themselves.
redo
4
audio?
times. Yeah,
Okay, you said video earlier, so I was confused.
both.
Just redub it when Dan drives the car at the wall. Just go, oh no, I've crashed. Really deadpan.
Oh
So-
no.
Has anyone got anything interesting that happened to them in the past couple of weeks or 4 weeks? Apart from Marta, who's a success everywhere.
Well,
Yeah,
when you say
I'm
apart
not a
from
success.
Well,
hers,
I'm
then,
sorry for actually doing something with my life.
Oh,
it hurts.
Way to show us up, Mark.
Hurts.
jabbing the knife in. Look at
You're
my
making me
success,
cry
you
here.
peasants.
Look, it doesn't happen often. I had a pretty shit year, so this is new to me.
And you also won at something else, right? A competition by Aardman.
I didn't. I am nominated
Oh,
for
shit.
the Aardman Award, which is an award that only my university gets. Basically, they send off the top 3 animations of the 3rd year to this dude at Aardman, and he's like, "Yep, I like this one. Give them the award, and here's a whole feedback sheet about it." And then you cry because they actually seen your work. So that's that.
Animation to me is like the most investment of time for the least amount of time. In the nicest possible way. It's like you have to work hours and hours for like a 5-second
Yeah.
piece of animation.
Well, look at the old Wallace and Gromit. Like they did. Doesn't that take like 3 hours just to move their hand like an inch on the screen or something? Because they have to
That's
move
kind
it
of-
like millimeters at a time, right?
I'd prefer
That's
to
kind
do
of taking the piss, like the 3 hours for one hand movement, because I did a 30-second animation in stop motion in 2 days. But with stuff like Wallace and Gromit, they obviously took a lot longer. But like because it was made for TV, and then they made the movies as well. It takes about 5 years to make a stop motion animation movie from scratch.
Wow.
I'd say that's quite a long time, but that's not that long. I mean, if you consider some movie by video just as long. But
Yeah,
I think
but
it's
when-
just that,
Most of the time when videos or movies are that long, they're in production hell for a long time.
right. That's
Like,
what it is.
they're
It's
trying to get
not
off
the
ground.
actual. It's not the actual recording of the scenes. It's all the background stuff that goes on.
I think,
It's
the
I think
rewriting,
post-production takes the longest.
I think this is the
Most-
patience. The
when
patience
you think
of
about
animation.
it, if a live action movie takes 5 years to make, there's something wrong.
Yeah,
If
that
it-
movie is.
Oh, yeah,
but
it's
it will
never
take a
good.
miracle for that movie to be good. Like,
However, if a stop motion or a 2D or any sort, or like even 3D animated movie takes like 5 years, then that's about the time you expect, especially depending on the size of the team, because obviously smaller teams it will take a lot longer. There is this one animation, I can't remember it's called The Cobbler and the Thief, that has never been finished, and it's like the animation that's been in production for the longest time ever. I'm googling it right now because
Why, they just lazy or?
no, it's because it's the parts of the animation that have been made are impeccable. Like it's been hailed as this amazing animation, but it's been never finished because the guy that is by Richard Williams, who's a very picky animator. He did the Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh yeah,
They've
It's a great
never
it's a great.
finished it because he kept firing animes because they were not good enough, according to him. And like,
Wow.
there's been these scenes of like just city view and him turning around. Imagine like those like Aladdin, the palace in Aladdin. That 4 times as detailed, and he did like a full 360 turnaround of it, hand drawn.
so what's
And
that
you know
release
it's
date
real.
looking like? Like 2024?
Well, it's
Never.
they've cut it. Like if they're never gonna finish it because he just didn't have the funding for it anymore. It
Has anybody else
started.
just got an image of a guy like sitting at a big desk, right? And then like a little tiny like teenage animator coming in with his like a piece of like A3 paper that he's drawn something on, just going, "I've drawn the outer side of the castle." So he's like, "No!" and just throws it aside.
Essentially, that's
Sets
how he
fire
was.
to it. It goes,
I'm now
"Get
imagining
out!"
this animator as an animated evil villain. This guy is like Jafar in the corner with
Yeah,
his drawing desk going, "Oh no, you cannot have this. This is awful."
Richard Williams is a fantastic animator, but I would never ever want to like be near him
Be near.
because he would just shit on me for everything I did. But
The problem now with animation, I'm imagining everything too literally, and this is getting a problem.
well, it started production in 1964, like,
Fuck!
and the animation wasn't finished, and it went under like multiple productions from like from different like funding places and everything, it just ended in 1993.
Man alive. Is that a waste
We
of
should
time?
bring it back.
It's a really long movie,
A
and it's
Kickstarter.
real. Well, he lost
Well,
the
they
rights to
funded
it.
Shenmue,
so
they'll fund
No.
anything.
Yeah,
Ah,
that's why we're gonna
Shenmue.
make it. Marta, you're gonna finish it, alright?
God no. No, the
Yes.
problem is like it's been in production for so long that even it lost its story. Like he started that without actually knowing how it's gonna end.
Well, that's just
So-
bad production.
It's just a beautiful animation that makes no fucking sense. Like I legit
What
fell
I'm
asleep watching
hearing-
it.
What I'm hearing is 3,000 subs, and Marta will do this.
No,
Yeah.
That's the 3,000 sub
Stretch goal.
more like 3 million subs, and I'll do
Listen,
it.
if we have this
awesome.
thing set at 3,000, it's gonna take probably just as long to finish as it did the first time. So
If you
So
start
it gives
now,
us
you'll
a
be done when we
30-year
hit
head start.
3,000.
Yeah, it's like I might as well start
Oh,
now. Maybe
dear.
I'll finish it when I die.
Speaking of death, has anyone
and then
died
it
recently?
still won't even come out.
What?
What?
Anybody died recently?
I mean, last time we talked about Adam West, and Adam West just died. Which means that was
Oh,
2
yeah.
weeks ago.
Yeah, that was a while back.
That was kind of cool because they put the Batman... I mean, that wasn't cool, but it was cool what they did to
Yeah, it was
in
kind of
memory.
cool when Adam West
And
died.
Roger Moore died
But they
at
put
more or less
the,
the same
the-
time, right?
What?
Roger Moore, the Bond actor.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
He died at more or less the same time as Adam West, but that got completely missed by like half the world, I think.
More or less. Just gonna point that out. Yeah, we're losing a lot of superheroes or action men.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say there's
they're-
one
they're
superhero
old.
and one spy, but
One spy is enough.
They were
is
old.
it?
I mean, like people die, and if you're a famous person, you're gonna die a lot.
People
sooner.
die!
Wait, bring us down. Yeah.
Look,
People die.
Life is pointless.
Everybody
There's nothing
dies.
at the end of the rainbow.
look. I fully expect all my favorite actors to die early because A, they're famous. B, they have they have access to drugs that will probably kill them. So
Listen, I'm not being funny, Marta, but if you really wanted to, you could probably have access to drugs if you wanted to too.
I don't want to do. I want to
I mean-
live.
To be fair, your point
I
is
wanna
entirely
live.
valid.
I want to
though.
live.
Your point is entirely valid because when I did technical spoiler alert, but the little bio that I've written for the website
Oh,
for
I need to do that.
myself, I've inserted a humorous start, or what I hope is a humorous start. It's probably rubbish, but anyway, part of that I googled an actor who will become clear when people read it. Not to tell it exactly what it is, and I realised that he died like 5 years ago or something, and I was like, wow, time really flies.
I'm looking it up
Yeah.
now. Who is it?
Oh, come on. You said it was great, Tim.
Cool, I got it. Listen, I don't
Tim
read
doesn't
very
read.
often. Yeah, thank you, Marta. At least
But he
everyone here
read
knows
it.
I don't read, I don't write. Reading and
Here's
writing
the
is
thing
not...
about Tim. If you tell him you did something, half the time he'll just say it's good without even looking
Oh,
at it.
awesome.
Yeah.
I've learned
How
This
do
is
you
the thing.
think all my app has?
Like, did you see
If
my
I-
bio? Oh yeah, it's great.
If I
I
manage
like
to
it.
get
Oh,
anyone to do something, then I'm impressed. Full stop.
Cool.
Like
Brilliant.
the act of actually doing something actively is more impressive than the quality.
In
at
that
this
case, when
rate.
you asked me if I could edit, I should have just gone, yes, I am the best video editor literally ever, and I could just be doing really, really basic edits, and you'd never know.
That's great. We'll give you loads of videos. We've
I'm
got
the
loads.
opposite, because if I saw that, like, if you said that you're doing really basic edits, I would point that out and call you out on your bullshit.
Yeah, they would
Yeah,
be
but-
very basic.
Marta's Jafar hanging over the drawing board.
No! Get out!
Not good enough.
Marta started drawing the famous cartoon, then became the man who started it.
Oh, what a twist.
Jesus Christ. No,
Alright,
I'm
you
essentially the
start
person who
Shyamalan.
critiques everything that I have nothing to do with. It's great.
Well, you know,
But,
that's what
I
the
don't
best
play the
critics do.
games.
Okay,
And I don't
well,
edit.
I feel like you haven't said anything about my editing yet, so either you didn't watch it or it's not shit. So
Which one?
No, I like your editing.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's really kind.
No, I do like the
Nobody's
editing
ever
that
been this nice to
LimitedNight
me.
has right now.
You like
I
the
do.
idea that what?
I like the editing style of videos we have right
Ah.
now. It's good.
I think we've got a lot of cool stuff coming in the future, and we're starting to splice out a little bit from the gameplay element of things, which is fun. You know, with Mimicry and with End of the
End
World.
of the world.
Yeah, and there's loads of other stuff like that coming in the future as well, which is cool because it's not something I particularly have a keen eye for. Like I did,
love-
how to cook a hand grenade, and that was terrible. And no one liked that, and it was shit.
What do you mean it was terrible? That was a funny video.
It was not. It was yeah.
I just remember though when you pitched it to everybody, I don't think anybody responded to it, and you got so upset.
No one responds to me.
Do you know what the problem with the cook a hand grenade video was? Because I watched that before I joined the channel.
Here we go.
The thumbnail showed the joke reveal.
It's not a joke reveal. It's
But
it's an instructional video on life.
No, it's comedy.
It's a comedy, but I didn't like. I kind of
feel
knew
like
what was
I
going
kind
to
of
happen
agree.
when I saw the thumbnail. Do you see what I mean?
This is one of the problems, and this is kind of what we get into. Like, for example,
So
we
quick,
started
everyone edit that
releasing...
thumbnail before this podcast goes up, otherwise everyone will know what it is now.
Well, we did that video for we started to do more video teaser videos, and kind of one of the biggest things for me, and what I find so interesting, is success and popularity on YouTube or in media in general. And there's two different ways you can approach it, and a lot of people go down the route of being really loud, really kind of obnoxious, and it's fair play to them. Some of them, they really, some people I watch, I couldn't imagine doing the things they do, like go up and just pester a policewoman or policeman or something. And then there's the others that kind of have that slow and steady or very quick rise to success, and I can't put my finger on what it is that they're doing. And we kind of sit in neither of those camps because we're not successful. But we're
Not
the
successful.
There is an
yet.
element of luck, though, right? Like with anything in life, there's an element of luck.
You kind of say that, but there's definitely, there's trends and there's things that people watch, and some people are just better at getting those trends than others, and you have to work really hard at that.
Right.
Speaking of
But I mean,
trends, who are we volunteering to play Dream Daddy?
Yeah, I actually saw that, and it would be really tempting to ask my dad to sit in on a video because he's no idea about this kind of stuff, and he would just be sitting in the corner going, what were we doing here? I don't even know what the video is. It's not like how to date your dad or
tell me to
anything.
get lost. I don't think he'd literally be that uninterested.
It's not
the
like a
game concept
Love
is
you, Dad.
You're a dad, you're a single dad who's just moved into a new neighborhood, and you want to date other dads, and they're all hot, and
Wait,
that's the concept.
That's the concept? I thought you were a girl trying to date a dad.
No, it's a dating simulator. You're
Okay,
becoming
so
your
it's-
I
daddy
thought you were a
soda.
random person. You just had to date a dad.
So
No,
it's-
you can design your own dad. It's fantastic. I can't wait to
okay.
play
It's
it.
amazing.
Grinder the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty
But
much.
for dads.
So the sound
Yeah,
of
Left
it,
for dads.
Oh, I said but for dads,
So it's
but left for dads,
wholesome
sure.
grinding.
Left for dads.
We've
I
got our
just
video
imagine it's
title.
like just some dude's hand. Instead of a zombie head.
That
it's just
definitely
some
sounds
dude's
like the
hand.
most uncomfortable game I could possibly play with my dad ever. It would make
Dude, it's
for a
fantastic.
great
It's
video.
like trying to play like Honeycomb Studio with your dad. It would be just as bad.
Oh god.
See, this is what I was talking about. The two different approaches. You can just put yourself in super embarrassing situations because it gets views. That is one I'm potentially okay with doing.
Yeah.
Um,
So I would just find it entertaining because I
But
really
what
like
if your dad
trashy
got
games.
really into it? Like, wouldn't that be even more uncomfortable? I think.
I mean, I guess it would still make for a good video.
That would
Oh,
just
maybe
be
for
a
a good video,
series.
Not a series.
I can see
No.
what you're on about there because
Tim's
One
dad
off.
plays. It will be.
I don't know if
Then
you
your
guys have
dad,
ever
but like,
listened to
what
it.
if your dad was like, "Oh, when are we gonna play the game again?" And you're like, "Dad, you really need to stop calling me about this."
Yeah, you need to go have a conversation with Mum.
No, then it would just be Mr. Baker Plays, and it would be like the biggest thing that LimitedNight has ever done.
Yeah, that
What
would
if-
suck.
What if you
Your dad becomes
What if your
CEO,
dad-
everyone's gone.
you didn't want to do another video, but your dad did, but you wouldn't play with him, so he decided to play by himself, and then he rose to success on YouTube and surpassed us within a day.
No, see, I wouldn't hit the record button. It'd be like the placebo effect.
They're
And
like, yeah,
then-
you're recording, Dad. Okay.
Yeah, see, everything's, you see that red light? It means it's on. It's fine. Don't
You
worry.
just have a piece of like red construction paper just taped to the front of the camera. It's on.
No, I know what you mean though. Like the embarrassing thing, like I really enjoy a podcast, which is nothing to do with us, but it's good. So I suggest people listen to it if you're over 18. But called "My Dad Wrote a Porno." I don't know if anyone else listens to it. It is hilarious. I promise you now. It's so funny.
This might be the third week in a row we've recommended a different podcast on our podcast.
Oh no! I mean,
We
it's
cannot
nothing
stress
like
enough.
what we do. So like, listen to ours first, then go have hilarity with there until we come
It's like,
back.
Please
But-
listen to all of these people who are funnier than us.
We can
Nah,
make a
it's just-
podcast which is just a list of other good podcasts, and that might be a very successful podcast.
We're podcast prime.
Wait, so maybe
It's
we
just
should make
really-
a podcast reviewing other podcasts.
Yeah. Oh.
Just
Just,
like
we could
an
do the same
unboxing
thing
video.
they're doing. Just go and buy some dodgy porn books and we'll read them. It'll be great.
I'm gonna do it now.
Just hop into your local WH Smith.
Dodgy porn.
Or Waterstones or
Get
whatever.
the one with the
bookstore.
fucking dinosaurs. It's hilarious.
Barnes and Noble if you're in America. Wait, that's
I
a
feel like
bookstore,
you've
right?
read
That's a
this
thing.
before, Marta.
I'm going on to
Look,
Cooked
And my
and
Amazon
Bombed.
search history is weird. Leave me alone. At one point I was... Oh my god, speaking of porn, have you guys ever read the Donald Trump fanfiction that got like mega famous?
Wow, no, I
God.
want to though.
It's
It sounds
fantastic.
amazing.
I don't read
It's-
much, but that I will read.
It's called The Billionaire and the Bellboy, and if you don't actually want to buy it, someone did like a
Billionaire.
dramatic reading of it on YouTube, and it's literally my favourite thing ever.
So I went onto the first tab on Google after searching for dodgy porn. The first sentence: I don't understand. You've clearly drank and quite rightfully enjoyed drinking piss. Why do you need to maintain the ludicrous fantasy that some of the piss you've enjoyed drinking wasn't piss at all? It is to me quite disturbing that you're deluding yourself in this way. End.
Huh.
So
Well,
if anyone needs to go to cookedandbombed.co.uk, it's a local site. I fucked a lady who wasn't a squirter, but it was sort of light mist rather than a jet stream.
I forgot he was reading there, and I literally thought he was just giving me an anecdote. I was
I know. I
really
thought he
disturbed
was.
for
I
like
thought
a
he was
second.
moving on now.
Yeah, I thought he was moving on.
This is great.
Someone wrote an erotic novel on Kindle
Oh.
that cancel status Callie's servicing the straight lads. It's literally a chav erotic novel.
Okay,
I
Marta,
need help.
unrelevant. If you could just send me the link to that afterwards, that'd be great.
Sure.
Just for research purposes.
Marta's like, I give it a 7 out of 10.
By the way, Tim, my
Needs more skank.
entire family think you're posh.
Oh, I am posh. I'm not posh. I'm
I don't know
Swedish.
where-
I'm not
I
even
don't know
English.
What
where
are you?
come from, so
I am posh. I'm not posh. I'm Swedish. What are you?
Hey, originally I'm Swedish. I come from Sweden, so I can't be posh. But I happen to live in Cambridge, which is more
Very
of a,
posh.
It's quite posh. But I'm
It-
like, I'm the
It's so weird to me because
in
you
the
don't have a
skanky
Swedish
areas of
How
Cambridge.
accent.
long of a time? How long of a time? How many years did you live actually in like Scandinavia? Is it
3.
3? Yeah, you're posh. If you lived in Cambridge for longer than that, you're posh.
Nej, jag pratar
I'm
svenska.
proud
Det är
to be
alltid det där,
Swedish.
så fan.
It's just like I shouldn't be considered like as Polish as really Polish because I spent more of my life here than have in Poland. Like it doesn't count anymore. I'm sorry,
No,
Tim.
no, that's not fair.
All-
I like to be
all of
Swedish.
People
Do
being
you know
born
anything
in
about
one
Sweden?
country and living in others, and then there's
Boo.
me being born in one city and living in another city 20 minutes away.
Your country's like 200 years old. No one even knows where they're sitting yet.
What?
Well, it's like how old is America?
Young.
Over 200.
How much over?
Like I don't.
He's
I'm not
sitting
good
there
at
doing
maths.
maths now. He's like,
You can see him pulling out his
divide
fingers.
the 3, take the 1 away.
I've run out of toes.
Listen, I'm not good at math. Okay.
It's
The
history.
war was.
I know the
red
years.
coats.
When
Well,
was
no,
it? When
yeah.
was it? When was it established?
Hold on 1 second. I'm doing it right now.
You're googling, aren't you?
I'm not googling. I'm using a calculator. I hit divided by. Hold on.
Who needs
You
a
could just
calculator
tell us
for
the
that?
date.
Nope.
You could
I
literally
got
just
this.
Google when was America.
It's gonna sound like
241 years old this
Oh,
year.
it's miles off. 241 years. Like only just have you had 2 generations.
How long do you think people live?
100 years.
No, they don't.
Oh no, they used
Oh,
to die. They
here's
used to die a
rich
lot
boy
more in
Tim.
the
He's
old
like,
days, though, right?
all you people don't just live 100 years.
Adam shaking his fist like, "Damn you with your fruit and your vegetables and your healthy activity."
Tim,
I had
statistically,
3 bags of chicken fries this week.
you only need 2 generations and 100 years per person, purely because, like, literally 100 years ago, people did not live to 50.
It's
So,
just easy maths.
no, it isn't. people don't live to 100. That's like an accomplishment. You get a letter from the Queen.
On my 100th birthday, I'm gonna call you up, Marta, and be like, "Suck it, 100."
No, that's fine because
like she died 20 years ago.
On your 100th birthday, you're gonna ring up Marta and go, "I remember the war," because you'll have like some sort of dementia and you'll think you're in World War II.
Or maybe there was a World War III.
Shut up, Tim.
See, now there's an anecdotal story for you. My wife used to work as a old person carer in their old homes.
Is that the technical term?
I don't
Old
know what
person
the
carer.
A carer is the
It's on their badge.
They're a carer. They care for old folks. I don't know.
Old person
Anywho,
carer.
during training at one company that shall not be named, so I don't call them out, the trainer said to them, told them a story about an old man who used to be bedridden. And the point of the story was to basically teach them that you don't have to do everything that the old person says.
Oh.
And the story was the old man was bedridden.
Oh.
No, don't worry. It's not that, but it's not creepy. I promise.
Jack him off or anything.
No, none of that.
He's
He
like,
was
okay, well, I don't
bedridden.
have to finish.
And every day the carer used to go in,
So she
and every
said.
day he used to say, "Can you go and open the top drawer of that thing over there and pass me what's in the top drawer over there?" And every day the carer's like, "No, have your tea or whatever." And then like a week or whatever goes by, and in the end he keeps it sitting there. All right, fine. So they open the top drawer, and in it was a loaded pistol. And she was like, "Why have you got a loaded pistol?" And he goes, "Oh, I just wanted to shoot you with it because you're a Nazi," because he had dementia, see.
Jesus.
And I was like, and my wife's telling me the story. I'm like, that's fucked up. Like, that is really fucked up.
I'm going to say that might be a story that someone made up, and it might
I don't
not
know, but
necessarily
they're
be
teaching
true.
it in the training.
I mean, it's probably a good thing to tell them, but at the same time, it will be pretty obvious that you do not hand a gun to someone else.
Yeah,
I mean, you'd
at
like
least,
to think so.
At
but
least
they're on
then
minimum
you've got the
wage.
gun, and I don't know. I mean, the guy must have been insane because you don't give a Nazi a gun and they say, "Hey, give me that gun. I want to shoot you because you're a Nazi."
I mean, I don't think he was insane. I think he was just heavily demented.
Hand me
but
the
sure.
gun, young Nazi. I mean,
like,
yeah,
hey,
Heil
hey.
Führer. I mean,
There was
Okay,
a day
can I see that for a
that,
second?
they,
Promise I'll give it back.
There was a day that one of our colleagues had the police kick in an old person's door because they thought they died, and it turned out he'd gone down to Tesco's. They literally got the police to kick the door in. They ran around the house, an ambulance turned up and everything, and then the dude just walked up with 2 Tesco's carrier bags and was like, "What's going on?"
I actually used to manage a company or
Gross.
manage an element of a company that did rise recliner chairs. So there's a lot of people that used to go down and do like the fitments, so they make sure that the chair was the right measurement.
Surely they'd be going up if it's a rising chair, Tim. Anyway.
He just
Gonna
left.
let that one settle. So this guy walks in, or I give this guy a call because I was in charge of like scheduling out where they were going to be, and I said, "Oh, are you going to be at blah blah blah's house at 4 p.m. whatever?" And he goes, "I'm afraid not. I'm on the way to hospital. I sat on a needle."
Oh.
So it's one of the biggest problems with going to old people's homes is there's a lot of needles about, and they're not necessarily always the cleanest of places. So sometimes someone will just they'll have their injection or whatever it might be, and then they'll just chuck it on the floor or like between the sofa. So he ended up basically just sitting on some kind of needle, and then you don't know what you got, so you just got to go to the
I
doctor.
shouldn't
Yeah,
laugh at his
everything.
pain, but when you said needle, I just thought literally sewing needle, and I was thinking, what houses is this dude going in?
Yeah,
I mean,
I,
to
to be
just
honest, I
sewing
honestly
needles
thought
everywhere.
he sat on a sewing needle too.
A sewing needle in an old person's house isn't that out of place either.
Nope.
Oh dear.
Honestly, describing that old person's home like a Holders episode, and that's how I'm imagining it.
Vamp for me, I'm going to grab a beer.
Oh
It's
yeah,
great.
just right in the middle of the podcast, huh?
How rude of him.
While he grabs a beer, let me share another old person story with you, which actually did happen to my wife. She turned up to one old man's house with smoke coming flying out of his door. Turned out he set his microwave on fire
Okay.
because he decided to put a microwave meal in the microwave without removing any of the packaging.
Oh.
Oh.
So he set fire to his microwave.
I mean, that's
And,
one way to cook it.
I
You
mean,
get that
And,
extra
yeah.
texture.
It was a thing. It was a
Bless
thing.
him. He
Especially
must have
as I
not
used
read
to
it.
drive her around to do those calls. So I'm sat outside for like half an hour like, where is she? What is she doing? And she comes out, it's like, there's a crisis. He has set fire to his microwave. Yeah, I'll be back in like another half an hour. And I'm like, I guess I'll just wait then. Sit outside some old man's house because I had nothing else to do apparently with my time.
And I'll hear that joke later.
No, you won't.
Oh,
It
you
wasn't
won't.
funny.
I'm back.
Anyway,
Don't
Told the
listen to
most
the
tragic
podcast.
story anybody's ever heard.
Yeah.
so Tim,
Yes.
I have some beef with you.
Go on. I'm ready for it. I'm ready
You're
for
ready
the.
for it.
the
This
beef.
is like how many podcasts back that you started talking
This
about
might be the second podcast we ever did, and you have pre-warned me about this. So, Robot
Yep.
Belly Button Fluff,
Yep,
which was episode 2.
2.
I literally have a Word document that says things Tim is wrong on and needs correcting.
And the problem here, and we're probably gonna
You
cover
obviously
like,
feel passionate about it if you decide to create a Word document about it, but sure.
like
Yeah,
shit.
especially when
Word
Google Docs
document.
exist.
So we're gonna have an argument off it because I know some of the points that you mentioned to me when you originally had the conversation. And to proceed what we're about to talk about, we spoke back in episode 2 about robots and AI and how AI works and how AI could be dangerous to an extent. Not that I'm an expert on AI or anyone that was on that particular conversation, but Marta had some feedback.
Yeah, so essentially I'm friends with people who know a lot more than Tim about AIs. Because
Debatable.
they actually... Debatable. Fuck off, Tim.
Tim just
Debatable
thinks
that
he
you have
knows. He's
friends,
like-
or debatable that you know more?
No, it's like, this is not... Like, I will probably get some of this, like, vaguely wrong because, obviously, I got told this. And, yeah, first off, Tim is wrong, and here's why.
You may have to back it up with what I originally said because my memory ain't
Is
so
this?
good.
Honestly,
This should be
I'm
a
trying
new-
to
a new
remember it, so
segment.
this is going to be great.
I literally
New
feel
segment.
like right
Tim is
now
wrong and
Marta's
here is
got like a
why.
4-page Word document written out for this.
Go ahead.
Why Tim is wrong.
Well,
Bullet point
what I
one.
didn't tell you about this Word document is it literally just says AIs, and then he got my name wrong, and that's all there is.
Yeah, okay. I may have got your name wrong, but I still stand by reasoning that isn't about AI. That's your name.
Look, I just said those things that you got wrong.
I
Anyways,
I
AIs.
apologise, and now I know it's my mate.
Tim, for God's sake. I will cut you.
Right?
Do
I-
it. It'll be really funny. Just make sure you film it.
The best thing, though, is if Marta starts sending me hate mail, it'd be really well drawn.
No.
And be like, oh,
I
look.
imagine her handwriting is
I really
like
like the
straight of
animation
your
of the
face
knife
and a
going
knife
into
or
my...
something,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
No, I'll just meet you at RTX London. It's fine.
Oh.
Can you do that after I give you the cookie? Because I want you to go to jail on a full stomach.
Sure.
Can you please, like, finish my anguish here and tell me what I did wrong with the AI?
No, we have to drag this up.
Killing me inside.
So, anyways, so basically, Tim thinks that AIs will, like in any other movie, they're going to take over the world, and like, what if they're going to get too smart? They're like, oh, humans are shit, so we're going to take over and kill everyone or enslave everyone, which is bullshit because that's not the concerns that people who actually are in the research field have a problem with AIs evolving to actually being like conscious, kind of, well, I guess as close to humans as they could possibly can. Essentially, what they're worried about is that the AIs will get bored and they will turn themselves off because they will get lazy.
That's even better. I love that. It's like, is it working? It's like, they'll never
What
know.
happened?
See, I was getting
Got
ready to jump
bored.
in there because when you said that's not what they're concerned about, I was about to go where they fucking should be.
Yeah.
They're not thinking about it. This is why we're gonna have an apocalypse.
I'm going to say,
Oh,
like,
yeah, who's a... Tim,
artificial-
wasn't it you who was like kissing the ass of robots or whatever?
I kissed the ass of
Yeah.
robots in Alien Isolation too. Yeah. But you were offending them.
To expand on this,
Go on.
basically, a robot that has, let's say, human-like intelligence gets told, this is your job, and you shall do this. And he's like, okay, I'll do this. And then eventually, he was going to have an existential crisis and be like, why am I doing this? Because they don't have, like, the survival kind of drive that humans have, as in, they don't have to eat, they don't
But you know what you
have
do,
to-
Marta? You know what you
Shut
do?
up.
You install a survival drive.
Yeah, but what would they, like, what would they be? It's like, oh, like, the electricity will turn off and on. Like, you can't scare them into working.
You
They'll
can
just...
absolutely scare AI, for sure. Have
Yeah,
you ever seen
yes.
Chappie?
It's
He
a
was scared.
movie.
Chappie is a shitty movie, first off.
Still backs up my point.
I
does
also just
not.
got an image when you said they get bored, like you
Have
give
you-
them a job and then they'll be like bored with it. I just had an image of them going, I can get more benefits. I'm gonna go on Jeremy Kyle and have a child. And I
And
was
then-
like, I just had this image of a computer on the Jeremy Kyle stage going, I did not father that child.
He does a little dance
Must keep
afterwards.
him-
You are not the father. Yes, yes.
See,
Well,
I had
I
this
fucking
idea...
told you so. Wheels off the stage down a ramp.
I had this idea where you say they get bored. I didn't think shut off. I thought like you tell them to do something and they pretty much just say fuck off and continue to play whatever shitty Flash game is available that they haven't played a million times
That's pretty
yet.
close. Because essentially, what my friend said... Shut up, Tim.
No.
No, basically, what my friend says is, right, the big concern is the AI is going to be like, right, I have nothing to live for, like, I can turn myself off and on, this job is pointless because it doesn't benefit me anyway, and he's going to be like, right, I'll just shut myself off. And then when you try to turn it back on to, like, reason with it, he'll just do it again.
So why can't you stop it from turning itself off?
Because
it will turn itself off again.
But like you can limit it from having... If it
has human intelligence...
Yeah,
like,
but if
like
it has human intelligence, it might not have arms to push the button, or it might have a block on the program that turns it off.
What you just described is literally the equivalent of a machine standing on the edge of a car park that's 4 stories tall going, it's not worth it anymore, I'm going to end it, and just throwing itself off the car park.
Yeah.
I think what Tim thinks is that it's actually physically pressing the off
No.
button.
So, okay, hold on. I'm going to back myself up on this point. I'm going to back myself up on this point, because... Yes, in theory. Okay, Marta, it might well be that we get your friend on a podcast, because I'd like to have a conversation about this, because I find it really interesting. And, you know, I don't... So, the way that I read it is...
It will happen.
Artificial intelligence is about creating something that you no longer have to program to do a certain thing. It will do it out of its own free will. Right?
However... If you give it the machine... No, shut up for a second.
No, shut up, Marta. Shut up.
No,
shut up. That's been your... Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Marta's argument for the entire thing. Has been shut up, Tim. So I feel like maybe she's not got.
Because I can't finish my point. For fuck's sake!
Carry on.
I had 4
Let her prove you wrong,
say.
Tim. For God's sake.
Right.
Go on.
Right now, I lost my.
Ladies and gentlemen,
this is how Tim wins arguments, is by just fucking confusing people to the point where they forgot what they were saying.
Right, I remembered. Free will. If you give a machine to, like, if you say, right, you're going to do this out of your free will, it's going to have free will, just like a human will, and humans are like, no, I'm not going to do that. Fucking, because it doesn't need to eat, it doesn't have the drive to, like, make more of them, or like it doesn't love, or it doesn't need to like do this job to survive. So it's
technically,
like,
if it was artificial intelligence, it should be able to love, because it's artificial intelligence.
Yeah, but what if the job, like, what if people are like, oh, you could, like, they program it not to do it, and then eventually they'll learn about it. It's really complicated, and
artificial intelligence means that it should be able to think for itself. So it should be able to love. It should be able to make those decisions. Otherwise, it's just a very clever program.
Okay,
it should be able to go down into the lava with its
so you're saying a human being
as it slowly melts at the end of time.
You're saying a human being with the inability to love is not a human being.
Well, okay,
I mean,
love is an example.
Without the inability to love, like, people like that exist.
I know at least 5.
Shout
out to those 5. You know who you are.
Yeah. So, but. Okay.
Stop talking about your exes on the podcast.
Let Marta speak, because I want Marta to. I'm gonna.
Oh, you don't get to tell me to let Marta speak. Look at you, Tim.
Hey, Adam, shut up.
There is another point that my friend pointed out, that let's not say the machine gets bored and turns itself off and whatever. It's more with the problem of, it's gonna realize how stupid humans are and it's better than them and it's gonna take over the world. It's not gonna happen, because if a machine that has free will and it has like the computer like level intelligence, so it'd be like a higher intelligence level, and it would be logical rather than driven by emotions, because it is a machine regardless of the fact that it's AI or not. It's gonna be realized, right, working with humans is mutually beneficial for me. So, I'm not going to take over them. I'm just going to do this because they can do something in return for me. They're not going to take over because of they're like, oh yeah, we're shit.
Okay, well, I've
often thought about that too. I often thought, like, what robot, like, all these, like, sci-fi stories almost make it seem like the robots get pissed at us for being stupid, but it's like, why though? Like,
okay, I'm gonna use films mainly to back myself up here. The Matrix is a great film. Right?
Oh, yeah, The Matrix.
And The Matrix has a concept. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but I'm saying it's a concept that could potentially, not happen, but there's some theory in there that I think could potentially sustain. So, what does an AI need? Maybe not food, maybe not love, maybe not water, definitely not water. But it would need energy, so battery power. So that could be something that we provide to them to keep them enticed to go to work. Why are you going to work today? Well, I've got 3 mini robots to feed, and they're running out of battery power, and the wife's running out of battery power, and we have to both provide to do that. So what if they suddenly realize, well, energy you can get battery power from a human, and we'll plug all the humans in, and then we'll make a farm of humans, a la Matrix.
See, I've actually thought about that plot hole in the movie, because that is the most inefficient way to power anything.
Yeah.
If you just enslaved the humans and made them just make batteries for you, it would be far more efficient than using their bodies as energy.
It would literally be more efficient to stick them in a hamster wheel and just do that.
Honestly, yeah, I don't know why I get that they had to have some reason they're like fucking plugged in or whatever, but
it would be a bit of a shitty movie if it was just Keanu Reeves on a fucking hamster wheel for an hour and a half.
That'd be awesome.
I'm not saying it wouldn't be, but I'm just saying that using human beings as batteries is fucking stupid.
Rage Against the Machine kicks in, and he's just hamster wheeling it as hard as he can, the wheel breaks off, and he flies
My
away.
God, he's gonna overpower the system.
See, here is why...
to do that, so...
Here's why Skynet wouldn't work, because Skynet in the Terminator films gets connected and then goes all around the world, absorbing all the information and that, and then deems us not worth bothering with, so kills us.
Didn't they just call something Skynet? Something real?
But, yeah, I think so. But
oh, Tim's like, it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world. There it goes.
If the AI is intelligent enough to look at everything, it's going to hit the first homepage of Pornhub and just literally nope out. Because that's what everybody does.
Well, you think eventually our robots will just succumb to porn?
Yeah.
Well,
thank you, porn.
At the same time,
Pornhub, if anything, has saved the world.
It's the answer to everything. Wait, hold on. Let's go back on track, because I want to refute some of these things, some of the accusations that have been pushed against me tonight. I don't feel like necessarily artificial intelligence is an element. So if you think of you have an element of a PC like your CPU or your RAM, and that works separately, you could technically have a power source to that artificial intelligence that the artificial intelligence just doesn't have access to. So by and large, that means that they can't kill themselves unless they decided to physically jump off a cliff or something. And even though you have artificial intelligence, you could have some basic programs instincted put into that AI, like we do. So, if you are let's say you are a heterosexual man and you see an attractive woman, you might have a program in you that feels like you would like to go and speak to or look at that person. So that's not something that you can stop. It's effectively pre-programmed into you, just like you could pre-program a requirement into an AI, like gathering battery or like gathering data or just surviving in general. So although artificial intelligence in itself is still completely separate and artificial and still its own thoughts and processes, it still lives off a basic instinct that you pre-program.
All right.
Okay, well...
For all this and more, tune into the Tim's Science Hour, the new podcast by LimitedNight. No,
this is where Marta just turns around and goes, "Shut up, Tim."
See, the thing is, the only reason I would agree that AI might destroy us all is simply because some idiot will not think about it and just go, do you know what's a really fucking great idea? Let's just plug it into everything without actually testing it. That's the only way it's going to kill us all.
Well, something...
Actually,
you know what I think?
Not going to test
AI, let's say you plug in the AI into the internet. It has all of the internet access.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would happen?
It would go insane. Have you seen the internet?
Oh, it's interesting to say that because...
Right, but you're thinking
here's one
about
of the,
it
okay, let's talk about this AI.
Human.
Does this AI have the ability to process something as fast as a computer? Or have you limited it down to process things as fast as a human?
No, let's just say
good question.
let's say that this AI is essentially a supercomputer who has free will.
So it's like the Fifth Element.
So what you're saying is it's a little bit like if you've ever seen the film War Games.
Nope.
It processes things. Oh man, no one's ever seen that film. It's a great film.
Right.
To watch it.
Imagine if a human brain worked at 100% capacity. Essentially.
So it's like that one. What's that?
Which is another theory that is wrong because we don't use 10% of our brain. That's bullshit. But anyway,
there's another film with that on it. Carry on.
Essentially, what you're describing is like when Neo plugs himself into like doing the tutorial programs in the Matrix.
Yeah.
And,
Lucy,
where their eyes
one.
where their eyes kind of roll back in their head for a second, and it goes, and then they're like, they know it, like that sort of speed is what you're saying.
Essentially, like imagine here's a robot, and like obviously, robots process things so much faster than us already. However, they do have the free will that humans have, so they kind of like question things, I guess, and all that sort of stuff. Imagine what do you think would happen?
Well, I think the answer to that is very dependent on some of the predisposition of what that AI has been through. So
it existed, and the makers are very excited about it.
So they just literally turn this AI on. They go, "Hey, your AI. Here's internet."
Yeah. What do you think would happen? What would the computer come back with?
It's interesting, because you called it a computer. But
Well,
at that point, it's a person. It's a being.
It's an AI.
It's
However,
a
not a person,
it has
Tim.
the body of a computer because I'm pretty sure they wouldn't make a human body first. They would try to make the brain work first.
It's like the Terminator.
Look,
You keep referencing movies for these.
No, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know the answer. I don't know what they would come back with. It
I'm
might
gonna
say
let you
kill all
know
the
a
humans,
secret.
or it might say, God damn, there's a lot of porn.
This is a really deep
Tim,
discussion,
listen.
and I just want the background video to be pictures of that Honda robot falling down the stairs when they said it could go down the stairs. That's all I want in the
Tim,
background while we're having this discussion.
Listen,
Yeah.
Tim, the reason why in Terminator the robots decide to get up and kill everybody is because Terminator would be a really fucking boring movie if all the robots just decided they wanted to take a nap instead.
Right. And listen, I'm not saying that I'm certain that if we made AI that it would kill everyone. I'm just saying that it's dangerous to have a piece of intelligence that can work that quickly, because if something did decide to turn over, like humans, for example, you'd probably say like 95% of humans are sane beings that follow the rules because they understand that socially we all have to kind of get along, otherwise we're all going to tear each other's balls off, and it just won't be a nice place to live. But you have that 5% of humans that don't think like that, and they do go around tearing people's balls off or other things.
Yeah, but most of the time that's like due to a chemical imbalance in their brain, which
Right.
would not exist inside of an AI.
But it's artificial intelligence, so
To kind
technically
of
they
agree
can
with
build
Tim
their own
right
brain.
now.
They might
Viruses
start
exist.
off. I mean, they might
Right,
start off
viruses
fine.
exist, but
Not even a
Also,
virus.
it
It's like
depends
if
who
you've got an
built the
artificial,
AI, right?
if you've got an artificial intelligence, then that
Listen.
means they can learn for themselves. What if they get mistreated as a baby AI and then turn
you
up?
keep thinking about them as if they have emotions.
It's just
Yeah.
the best way to explain it, because they are already.
But they
an
don't. You
intelligence.
know, you can be intelligent and think for yourself without having emotions, right?
Yes.
Okay, emotions are just like a chemical balance bullshit and pulses in our brain. They don't exist.
I
It's
don't
just a
think-
concept that humans made up.
I think we
Tim's
would
just
be
stand there with the AI
incredibly.
going, naughty AI, naughty, slapping you around
It just
the face.
oils itself on the floor.
You can't think of
What?
an AI like you do of a human. It does not grow up in the same way.
But that
It's a
depends.
You
robot.
cannot anger
You
an
cannot.
AI.
Like, why the fuck would you make an AI and be like, "Hello, this is a baby AI," and it has roughly the equivalent of a baby, like a human baby?
I
like,
would do
intelligence.
that. That's how I would do it.
be a terrible idea.
Well, that's why you're not making AI.
Have you seen Chappie?
It's
We're not watching Chappie.
Tim, here is why it would be a terrible idea. You can reason with adults. You cannot reason with a baby.
Exactly. That's why,
Why
you have
would
to
you
teach
make-
them. You have
No.
to teach them.
Why are you
Because
making
then
it a
you're making
baby
an
though? You
impression.
can skip that step.
You don't need to listen. I think artificial intelligence, for example, why are we making artificial intelligence? Tell me a reason why that would be good, because that will.
To make life easier.
To make
Right.
life easier.
So why does it have to be
simply
intelligent?
count.
Why does it have to be artificial intelligence to make your life easier? There are
So that
machines
it-
out there today that don't have any artificial intelligence that make our lives easier, like
Yeah,
manufacturing.
but you need
plants.
somebody to run the machines.
Also, because progress is fun, and I think I want to see if people can actually do it.
Right, I agree,
Yeah.
and I think that's exactly why. And you would want almost like a friendly level of service where you don't know what the answer would be. So the problem with programming now is, well, from a non-professional level, is programming is only as good as the person that programmed it and the amount of time spent on programming. So you can only have like a tree of answers, but I can turn around and say banana sponge because I wanted to, and any program can't turn around and say banana sponge because they fancy saying it because they're not programmed to do it. Whereas artificial intelligence might turn around and say banana sponge because...
Right, but you can teach something to learn and grow without it having emotions.
I'm not saying emotions are attached to it. I'm just saying logic is.
You keep saying it's not attached to it, but every time you bring up the fucking robots taking over the world, it always comes back to, oh, they mistreated it, so it got angry.
Okay,
and
well,
took
how
over
about
the
this
world.
then? How about this?
Like the
It's
film
logical.
iRobot.
It just makes more sense. Like, what's the film with a third rule? What's the film?
iRobot. I literally just said it.
With the really funny guy that died.
The really funny guy.
Robin Williams.
Robin
Williams. AI.
Oh, AI.
Yeah.
The film was just called AI. Like,
Yeah.
literally.
And then they broke the third rule because it was too logical to whatever.
Again, it's a movie.
But
It's not
still
going to be an
set in
interesting...
They're still set
It's not
in
going to be an
reality.
interesting movie if the robot goes to sleep every time.
There's
Why would it need to
literally
sleep, Adam?
one movie, a good movie, about artificial intelligence that backs up what Tim's is saying, and in that concept I would agree with him. However,
Shut up.
it's very impossible, like it's quite impossible for it to actually happen, because it's essentially like a movie about what if Bill Gates went crazy.
What film is this?
It's Ex Machina.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that just recently. That was a good
It's
film.
an incredible movie, and it's basically concept an AI in that's dressed up as a woman, and it just goes for shitty situations. Like obviously, it's gonna go crazy and try to kill you if you're gonna try and go and rape it.
Well, not if it didn't have emotions.
Yeah, but if you make that guy was obsessed with making it like a human woman.
Which is what we're trying to do with AI.
No, we're not.
No, we're not. We're just trying
See,
to make
to
them
take it-
intelligent.
To take it away from AI slightly, what concerns me more is like the film The Surrogates, where like we're gonna create stuff like VR that's too immersive and it's gonna make us all go crazy
Oh, yeah.
and start killing each other. That's what more concerns me. at
Well,
the minute.
I think to
That people
move away
won't
from AI
separate
because
reality
I feel
from
like
the game or from the whatever. That's a concern.
See,
Well, I
on
feel
that
like-
same note, I can't wait for that to happen so I can just hide away in a game and not have to think about real life.
do you know what we should do, Marta? To close off our AI argument, we
Okay.
should ask Adam and James what side they're on.
Okay.
Oh.
Which
Oh,
side
great!
Wait.
Brilliant.
Adam,
Whoa, Marta. I'm on Marta's side.
Yay.
Okay. give me your reasoning.
Because she's not thinking of this fucking AI like it's a human being that is programmed to hate everything that mistreats it.
All right, you're fired. James?
Oh, great! Thanks for that. Now I've got pressure.
He's like, I just
On
got
the
here.
plus side,
So
James,
essentially, what I'm doing is I'm voting here for either Tim, AI is going to murder us all, or Marta, my AI is lovely, we'll all give it a big hug.
I'm not going to
right?
argue
I mean,
that
that's-
AI
it's not
will
gonna
murder
give
us
you a
all
big
or not.
hug, it will
I'm
just-
just saying that AI might.
at the same time, what I'm saying is AIs will be smart enough to tell you you're dumb, but they'll be nice about it.
James, time to make a decision.
I'm fired. I'll see you later.
Ah, shit!
I'm
Fuck you,
always,
Tim.
and although I agree with like a moderate concern that I think AI is a potential risk if not kept an eye on, I'm more concerned about the whole immersive VR let's all kill each other thing, because humans are much more dangerous than a computer
Oh
right
yeah,
now.
absolutely.
And the second you start like making it so people will forcibly separate reality and or the lines between reality and like a game or or a film are blurred to that point, that's more concerning.
Well, I don't know. I think because there's always been studies on how games affect children when they play, horror games or games with murder. Or Grand Theft Auto has always been the one that's been in the biggest light because it has the most gruesome scenes to an extent, on a commercial level anyway.
Yeah, you're correct. Yeah.
And you're right. There's the danger of some people perceive the danger of that being influential in the way that those children then grow up and behave, which is difficult to argue because some people argue against it, some people argue for it, and there's not really any proof.
I always thought that argument is bollocks. Like, I've been playing GTA since I'm like 10 years old. I haven't gone out and murdered anybody yet.
Exactly.
So the game and argument thing is always, but
Yet.
the only reason I would make an exception for a VR standpoint is you'll no longer have the separation of I'm sitting in a room of my house watching a TV with this happening, and you can clearly see that it isn't real. So those of us that are intelligent enough to like make that separation obviously won't be affected by it. Whereas VR is the extra step where like I've never used VR, but from what I've been heard about, because I've obviously know people who play it and I've seen people playing it, it's even just like the tech demo where the big whale kind of swims by you. They say like in real life they're kind of reaching out and trying to touch the whale, and I'm like, that shows a really potentially disturbing kind of brain thing where we can't separate it. So if this becomes like mainstream and we all play it as much as we sit here playing our PCs and that, but we're in this immersive world, how much is that going to change everybody's brain physiology and thing? That's probably more a thing. But
I agree with you. However, I think it's also down to the fact that, like, you know how people are worried about games now, never mind when they become VR. It's also down to the parenting and like the mental health of the child playing.
Oh man, I could not agree more. I used to work in a game shop, trust me.
It's not going to be just VR. I think like if we're actually going to get to the point where VR is going to be that immersive, it's just what we're going to have to up is like the mental health checks that people will be having on regular basis if they want to play a VR game. Just like some people can't play certain games because they have epilepsy, there'll be certain people who cannot play VR games because of like they have issues they have to get through first.
The knowledge of people buying them, because like the amount of times I used to work for a very large games retailer I shall not name for reasons. it was Game, yeah.
You kept that pretense up forever.
Yeah, I really did. I spent 7 years there, so I obviously sold a lot of games in my time, and obviously GTA is a very big game, and as you rightly say, Tim, is the one that everybody always cites as being like the one that warped our children's minds.
Yep.
But the amount of times you'd have a release of that game and you'd have like a 5-year-old or a 10-year-old or whatever stand there with the game in his hand, and he'd put it on the counter, and you turn to the parents and you go, I can't sell that to him because he's not 18, and they go, oh, it's alright, I'll buy it for him. I'm like, well, and you go, okay, but I know you're giving it to him, so I can't really, but
yeah,
okay.
I mean, at that point, technically, you can sell it to them because they turn around and say, I'm selling.
But the thing is, you say to them, and they're like, so, and you're like, well, do you know what the game's about? And they go, well, yeah, he just says he really wants it. And I used to make a point, and I used to say it literally like this: I used to say, right, you think of something bad, like something horrific, it would be in this game. I was like, you've got prostitution, you'll have murder, you'll have all this, or whatever, and they just go, yeah, he'll be fine. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, fair play to it. I get that.
I get that because I grew up playing GTA and my favourite thing to do was run people over.
Yeah,
like I was like
that was my favorite.
I love the
10
prostitution.
years old. It was so much fun.
The thing is, I did that, but I did it secretly where my parents didn't buy it for me. I just went around a friend's house about it.
Let me throw out, I know we're kind of going over, but I want to throw out a concept on it because you're talking about, VR and how that is a potential danger. My biggest concern is actually more around AR and how augmented reality
we're fucked.
Could start to become. So the biggest companies that are really pushing for AR right now are companies like Instagram and Facebook, and they want to, so basically Facebook is a great example because they've really pushed the boundaries of how successful a business could possibly be. They've hit every single target market that they have in social media elements, and they're buying companies that are hitting the other markets, so they're now just a huge company overall. And the way that they see that the future is going to be is augmented reality. So instead of looking at the world like we do, you look at it through their own glasses that show you, how many likes this person had, how many followers does this particular person have, what's their bio.
I remember having a discussion with my dad about it once, and I was like, sat navs in the future will probably just display the map on your windscreen as like an AR concept.
But it won't. I mean, like, that's already happening.
And I was like, because you already look at it and you're not supposed to. So I said it's only a next step to put it on the car as an augmented thing that shows up on the road,
Well, I used to work for BMW, and that was already a thing that existed. There was just a projector that projected into the front windscreen, so you didn't have to look at a screen.
Isn't the next step dangerous, though?
No, it's no less dangerous than looking at a sat-nav.
Okay. No, it's just like the way I'm imagining it. It feels like it would, like,
it's small.
My eyesight.
It's small and it's kind of semi-translucent, so you can still see the road.
So you're kind of fucked if it's really sunny outside.
Yeah, to an extent, but it's one of those things that... Go on, Adam.
I'm just waiting for somebody to do Google Glass, right?
Google Glass failed, so...
I'm surprised that failed. I'm really surprised. It must have been something internal.
Not.
Because
I think it was too early.
Maybe.
I think it was too early and the design was really weird.
But the
It's
concept.
the same
And-
with like restaurants, right? Like you'll walk up to a restaurant front and the AR will show you what the menu is, rather than you having to actually read a menu board or
Yeah.
step
Oh my god, I
inside
would
or-
need that so bad because half of the
Yeah.
restaurants in England do not have the menus outside.
It becomes
Is that a common thing to have a menu outside?
I went on holiday
It
last
used to
week,
be,
and
yeah.
yes, and
Yeah,
it was
it's-
so
Yeah.
helpful.
There's so if anyone hasn't seen it, there's a Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror episode that came out. It was in the latest season. I'm just trying to find out
yeah.
what the title of that was called.
I've heard about it. It's apparently really good and really fucking scary.
It's a take on social media. Twilight. It's kind of like Twilight-ish is the way they explain it, which is probably a well. I can't find the name of this particular episode. Here we go. It's called Nosedive. It's incredibly powerful to watch. So, and I won't go into spoilers, but the premise is that what if you were entirely focused on how good a rating a person had from their entire life, and if you had, a 5-star rating, you could actually buy 5-star rating locations or have a 5-star rating job, and that's dependent on your social circle and what people rate you as. So every interaction you have with a person, they can up or down vote you, or they can give you 4 out of 5 stars, or the Reddit scheme, that kind of thing. If you do one thing wrong, or you go on one weekend bender, you could completely fuck your life up because people could then see that track record through your social status. And it was really interesting. I recommend going to watch it if you're interested in kind of how AR can affect your life.
Yeah, no. I'm waiting for the day when the people are going to start implanting things into our retinas, and I'm not looking forward to it.
That was actually another Black Mirror episode, which I won't go into again, but
I'm
Mirror is
looking
great.
forward to the day where you get like a chip in your head, right? I'm waiting for that because it's like, imagine going to the store, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you pick out all your items. You don't have to wait in line at like a baggage claim or anything. You just take all your items, you walk out the door scans the chip and withdraws the correct amount of money from your bank account, and then you're
However,
good to go.
what happens if the person doesn't have money?
Well then
Don't buy it.
tells you to go back and put stuff back, or it locks up your central nervous system.
Or you could just
The
use a set
future!
of good,
So basically, it's like the chip, but like the eyes from the film Minority Report, where it scans.
Again, another great Black Mirror episode. Go and watch all of Black Mirror.
Listen,
Uh,
it's
Obviously,
an option.
Black
I
Mirror is
think-
my biggest
I
fan.
think
You're
it's fine
talking
if
about
it's
a
an
chip.
optional chip.
Guys, I just had a thought, and we can end on this, I guess. But would it be worth maybe us just all going to watch one episode of the Black Mirror and then just having a talk about it afterwards?
I would
That
freak
could be
the
a
fuck
thing.
out, but sure.
We still need to watch The Room together.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
I know. You've seen it, obviously, right, Marta?
No, I've heard about. I've
Oh,
been
you
told to
haven't?
watch it, and I
don't even
really
know what
don't
it
want
is.
to.
All right,
That's
well,
what
we
did this
no,
the
we
other
have
day,
to have
I
a
don't know what
viewing
it
party.
is.
we're going
We
way
have to
over
have a
now
viewing
because
party.
we're at 1 hour and 7 minutes. Does anyone
Yeah, we're
else have
1 minute,
anything
7
crucial that
seconds.
they wanted to add in today?
Watch The Room, everybody.
Uh,
Please.
Watch
So-
Black Mirror, and Tim is wrong.
If you go onto the Limited Night forum, which is a new thing now, there is a small post which I've put about the Limited Night posters which we might be releasing. This is a concept that we put together to see if maybe Limited Night can make a little bit of money to go towards things like the things that we have to run, like the servers, or like hosting content, or creating content in more exciting ways. So everything that you donate, if you do decide to buy a poster, will go back into Limited Night to make Limited Night better. But there's a poster on there which you can preview. It'll be £15, $20, somewhere around that price when it gets released. Just go and comment on there and let us know that you're interested, because we'd be really keen to see if anyone would be. And obviously go and follow us, limitednight.com. Subscribe at Limited Night, and the Twitter is at the Limited Night. And we'll be back again in 2 weeks to go have another stupid AI conversation where Marta's always wrong.
Excuse me.
I feel like more people agreed with her than you, but sure.
I don't know, what do I play?
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.